So this is what I ended up doing. I ended up turning off all my, because I have 3 monitors, right? So I have a TV that's set up for me to watch Netflix and stuff, and then I have 2 screens that I work off of, and that usually gives me a lot of like white light that I can use to, so I don't have to depend on this light. But it seems to be doing okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, what a shit show. I don't
I
want to
love
throw
it.
away this computer because I spent so much money on this computer back in 2010.
15 years ago. 15 years ago.
definitely
Oh,
got your
shit,
money
you're right.
worth. You got
14
your money
years.
worth.
14 years.
Yeah, you got your
14
money
years.
worth, Ben. Can everyone in the chat tell Ben he needs to get rid of his 14-year-old computer? Thanks.
I can't. I spent so much money. And Karen's just like, you're gonna use this this computer for the rest of your career.
Dinosaur. I did not say that.
If,
Yes,
if
you
you
did.
get
You're like,
five-
spend the money now. Spend the money now, and then like that way you don't have to buy it again later. So I don't know. 14 years.
I never told you I had the power. Dinosaur.
So how long do you guys normally keep your computers until you guys trade it in or turn it in?
They'd say if you buy a computer that's, like when you buy a computer, you should buy it spec'd out so that it can last you longer. But typically 5 years is enough to have a computer nowadays.
Oh,
Long
my
enough.
gosh.
Yeah.
All right, so we got 2 people joining in from the podcast, and then 4 people joining in from my regular group. So, and we got some people. So we got people all over the place. So they're joining now. Oh my gosh, what a show! And that my laptop. Oh my god, what a potato camera. That was embarrassing.
How old is that laptop?
Oh, that one's not that old. That one's 2020, 21.
Okay, that's like mine.
That's not too bad, right?
Yeah,
2020.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Your laptop is newer than mine.
I mean, I only use it for to write notes and stuff. I don't really use it for like podcasting or anything like that. Still, it's not too bad. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to it. We still have 40 minutes to chat.
Yeah, plenty of time.
Yeah, we have plenty of time. So, as we were talking about earlier, we were talking about how you spent the week in Vegas. Did you guys have a good trip?
WPPI. Yeah, we were there with
WPPI in the
you.
house. Yeah,
It
we
was
were there.
jam packed.
It was we were supposed to go out for gumbo, and we were supposed to go out to, and we did do an escape room.
Always.
So, yeah,
That was
so we
fun.
got we got most of our traditions out of the way, and also, so I generally have 3 traditions when we go out to Vegas, right? The first one is we have to go to the Egg and I. That's our little breakfast spot. It's like a little hole in the wall diner type of place. We went. They have like the most amazing banana nut muffins there. I was able to take.
Who went this time, Ro?
I took Ro. Yeah, I took Ro because I
didn't get
stole
to
him.
go.
You should have woke up
I
at 5
kidnapped him.
a.m.
Because I kidnapped Rolando at like 5 o'clock in the morning to do a sunrise shoot in the
5 a.m.
desert.
No egg and I.
Yeah,
was
either you
so
wake up
cold.
5 in the morning or else you don't get egg and I. So yeah, it was pretty cold that morning.
It was freezing.
It's
And
always
and,
cold.
and and the bride, she didn't even bring the right footwear to go into the desert, into the mountains. She was wearing her house slippers out into the desert, and I was like, "What were you thinking?" It is what it is. So she ended up wearing. I offered my shoes, but then that would be barefoot. I didn't have any other backup gear, so she ended up wearing her future husband's sneakers. I thought that was the funniest thing. So if you look very carefully underneath her dress, she's wearing his sneakers. So I try to be as careful as possible not to show the sneakers. So I'm not sure if you noticed, I try to hide them behind bushes and stuff so you don't see her feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that would have been a pain in the ass.
She didn't bring shoes at all.
She did.
She had her heels. She had her
Yeah.
heels. She's not going to hike in her heels.
No. I mean, once you got there, you shouldn't like change.
Yeah, and also I think the dude had 2 pairs of shoes.
Yeah, he had like some like sneakers and then like some more like
He had
casual.
like 3 total. He
formals.
brought 3 pairs of shoes, and she
Yeah.
brought her house slippers and her flip flops, and her her house slippers and her high heels. So that was pretty funny. But anyway,
Wait, we haven't
so
seen any teasers from that yet, Ben. You're usually so quick.
I've been busy. It's only Monday, y'all. I got back. I got back on Thursday or Friday. I don't remember. And then I had a
That's
wedding
5
on
days
Saturday.
ago.
Oh yeah.
Has it been? Well, yeah, I haven't. Don't tell. Well, thank God my what do you call it? My client's not on Facebook, or else she'd be like, "Yo, where's the sneak peeks at?"
No sneak peeks for you.
Yeah, no sneak peeks. Not for this one. No, we're working on it. So that's one of 3 traditions that I have. So first one is egg and I. The second one is what we're trying to make this a tradition is we go to do gumbo, we eat gumbo, and we have an escape room. And and those usually I enjoy with you guys. And this year we had more reasons to celebrate with more gumbo and escape rooms because you guys totally knocked out the first quarter. Actually,
Yeah.
all of us did. JNR did. Hey Karis did. And I did. And that's what I wanted to talk about today too. But should we talk a little bit more about the conference first?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. There's a lot to unpack there.
Let's unpack it. Let's unpack it. So when you guys first went to, by the way, I feel like we're doing a podcast recording.
Yeah.
There's no post production, so there's no dirty here to do any kind of cleanup for us.
So if we screw up, we screw up. If we
And we screw up, we screw up. This is just live, guys. You guys are getting it nice and raw. So yeah. So when you guys first went to your first conference was WPPI back in 2016, right?
Yep.
What was your reasoning why you went to the first conference?
Definitely to expand our knowledge, network.
Mhm.
Like back then, like we didn't really network a lot, and we felt like everyone was talking about WPPI, and so we're like, you know what, let's check it out, let's go. It was awesome. It was a game changer for us our first year.
Yeah, and I was saying that the difference between the first year where we went and now is that the first year you're still kind of starting out in your business, and so we did like a million classes, like soaked in all the knowledge, learned so much about marketing, technical stuff, and then as the years go on, you kind of it becomes like summer camp. Like you start gaining all these new friends, and then you just start hanging out, and you go to classes less, and then you go to classes less, and it becomes more about the networking and all the people that you're with, which is fun.
Yep.
But when you're networking, I mean, who you're networking with? You're like other photographers, vendors. What are you getting? What kind of value are you getting out of that networking?
We're hanging out
I like
mostly with.
in what way? Yeah.
So we're hanging out with our.
Both.
Yeah, we do
Vendors,
both.
photographers.
What's the end goal?
Um,
What is the end goal of all this networking?
Well, part of it, like in the beginning, it was just to get to know as many people. Now it's basically like getting to know mainly the vendors who we use and believe in.
Mhm.
We've done a nice job over the years to become friends with some of those vendors, and we just like chatting with them to see what's new, and if we have feedback, we give them feedback as well.
Mhm.
And also like the parties, like now it's like I remember our first year we almost got invited to like almost nothing, right? Like well, maybe one party. Now there's not enough time for the lunches, the dinners, the parties. It's
Because you guys are
I,
big shots now, you know. You guys are
No,
You guys are like
no,
podcast hosts now.
no.
You guys got
No.
your own merch.
I think there's now. I don't think there really is like an end goal when we go. Like I mentioned, it feels like a reunion. It kind of feels more like a time to get away and connect with people with the same, interests and the same experience that we have. Because being a photographer is kind of lonely, and you need to reconnect with people. And so that's
Right.
basically what I go for. I don't go with like an objective of like I'm gonna accomplish this time. I just kind
Mhm.
of go and see what happens and connect with whoever I can. But
Mhm.
that's mostly my goal is to kind of feel included in the industry, basically.
Yeah.
it's also
Well,
a reset.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it's a
coming
nice
back,
reset.
yeah, coming back to start your season, you come back
Mhm.
inspired. The print com was a big thing as well, like in the past years. It's a whole new format now, which I'm happy that it's back. It still felt like something was missing from the previous competition, but I'm sure over time they'll eventually make it better. And
I hope that they do bring it back because I think this year or maybe they started it last year, but they're only reviewing like the top 10 from each category,
Mhm.
which is great and all, right? You're inspired to do better, you push yourself a little bit further. However, I still think there's a lot to learn from. I wouldn't say the losers, but the ones who are not the top 10. Like
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
the critiques.
areas where you can improve and things like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of the conferences when I did stay in the hotel, because at least for us, 2016 that was our first one as well, first big one. We had attended some smaller workshops and classes before then. However, WPPI was our very first big one in 2016, and that's when I met you guys as well. And for us, it was really the reason why we went was really just to try to I guess, confirm for ourselves that we were on the right track, that we were doing the right things the right way. Because I don't know about you guys, at least for us, we were just trying to figure all these things out on our own. We didn't really know if we were doing things the right way, or maybe there was a better way to do things. So that's why we attended WPPI for the first time in 2016, just to attend some classes, and maybe meet some new friends too. Because, like you said earlier, it is a little lonely for us
Mhm.
as solopreneurs, and we're lucky enough to work with our spouses, but there are a lot of other folks who are flying solo, and it can get a little lonely, I guess. You know, I guess it's nice, especially if you work with it's a husband and wife team. It's nice to meet somebody else who's not your spouse to go connect with them.
Correct.
And then
One
and then
1,000%, yes.
and then a couple years later, we started going, but a little less for the classes, but more for the networking. And for us, the networking was, I don't know, we just enjoy that part a lot more.
Same.
It was sort of like recess for us, you know.
Yeah.
We were doing it fine in class. We were doing it fine in class. You know, the proof is in the pudding. Our businesses were kind of coasting at that point, so we just showed up to network, hang out with friends. It's basically just our time away from work for a little bit. I mean, I do a lot of personal work. I enjoy a lot of meals. Go to a lot of parties and stuff. I mean, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's the part I really look forward to. And I know
It's
that
exhausting though.
Summer break for us. Spring break.
Yes.
yeah, it's sort of like our
Um,
little summer break. Spring break.
Spring
For
break.
Spring
photographers.
break.
Photographers gone wild.
Yep.
Yeah. So, give me some beads. Give me some beads. I'm like, just do a little milkshake for them, right?
I heard the
Um,
Fuji party was a little off the hook from a bartender told me.
I heard.
We won't say what
Was it
now.
crazier than was it crazier than the Fundy party though?
I
Yeah.
don't want
I
to
I didn't. We
compare.
couldn't make it. Were you guys there?
Yeah.
No,
went.
we didn't go to the Fuji
Well,
party.
no,
Oh, the
we
Funny
went to
party.
the Fundy
Funny
party. Yeah.
party. Yep.
The
yep.
Fuji party.
Yep.
One of the bartenders, he was like, "Are you guys gonna party again tonight?" I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Cause last night was crazy." I was like, "What happened?" He's like, "I won't get into the details," but he's like, he couldn't wait to do it again.
Yeah, photographers gone wild, right?
Wasn't there
Just a
like a
bunch of
stripper
milkshaking
pole?
on. There's
Huh?
stripper poles inside the Fuji
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
bar.
At the club. Yep. There's a.
You never been in there?
No.
Yes, there's stripper poles in the corners and stuff. Not that I know. I mean, like this is just the word on the street. There's stripper poles everywhere, and mirrors and things like that.
We went
Oh.
last year.
Uh-huh.
The Fuji party.
But I will say, a lot of folks a lot of people go to conferences for different reasons, right? Some people go for the
Mhm.
educational aspect of it. At this point in our careers, for us, it's about the relationships. Let me tell you something. I would venture to say that the power in these conferences and workshops really come from the relationships that you're able to make. I'm not just
Mhm.
talking about building your own referral network or anything like that, but like these personal connections, these people that you can call on a drop of a dime because you need help with something, right? Like right now at this point, if I needed something from you guys are just like a phone call away. I can call you guys, all right? 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we had an emergency. We had a family emergency. I was without a shooter within a 12-hour window. Right. All I had to do is just make a phone call. This is an individual whom I met at WPPI. You know what I mean? Like having access to these kind of people, it's invaluable. Having people that you can count on when you need something is invaluable.
Gerardo.
Oh, I wasn't gonna shout out his name, but since you shout out his name.
Why not? He earned the name drop. Shout out Gerardo.
For sure.
Gerardo Soto
Gerardo.
Photo.
Soto knows photo. He hates it when I do that. He hates it.
Soto knows photo, but you spell photo F-O-T-O.
I don't know if he's watching right now. I really don't know if he's watching right now. So anyway, he will now. Now that he knows that we name dropped him. But yeah, a lot of people are like, yeah, why are you networking? Just to rub shoulders with important people makes you feel good and stuff. No, it's not so much about that. You know what I mean? Like I'll give you another example. A year ago, we went to Imaging in Nashville, and I knew a couple of people there, but I didn't know too many people. And then you guys introduced me to the asset team.
Mhm.
All right. And within and they helped us kind of restructure our business and everything. And over the course of 9 months, they helped me earn $50,000 in revenue.
Mhm.
That's
That's
life
awesome.
changing. That's
Yeah.
life changing money, guys. Well, all right,
Mhm.
maybe not life changing. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but that's a nice chunk of
That's-
money, guys.
That's a lot more money for gumbo in
Yes,
Vegas.
yes.
50,000 is nothing to sneeze at,
We
guys.
deserve
All right,
football.
from an introduction, right,
Mhm.
and then like having a dinner with the asset team. That cost me actually they bought me dinner, so it didn't cost me anything. but like $50,000, guys. I mean, where
And
where
that's just the
else can you
beginning.
make?
That's
And this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
I haven't even gone through my entire. They weren't even able to execute this business plan with all of my clients. This year
Mhm.
they will.
Yep.
This year they will. But last year they only got access to like half of our clients, and we made 50 grand.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You know.
Oh, our most
Some-
important co-host just joined. Hi, Ellie.
Oh,
You
Ellie's here.
didn't
I was
know.
like,
You
is
didn't
30
know.
here? Somebody told me recently, shout out to Michael T. Davis. He's like, listen, the magic's not happening in the classrooms. The magic's happening in the dinners. The magic is happening in the coffee shops and the
The
breakfast
expo.
tables.
The expo floor.
Mhm.
Yeah, the magic's not happening. I mean, you're learning something. There's some value in the classrooms, but the magic is happening with these one-on-one connections. That's where you're going to get the most power out of these conferences. So anyone who like poo-poos on conferences, you guys can go kick rocks. You guys can go ahead and go ahead and be crotchety, old, crabby old people, okay? But everyone else, I urge you, all right, to take advantage of workshops, conferences, and classes. I know sometimes it's cost prohibitive to do them, but I promise you, you're gonna get so much more back. That's my personal take anyway.
Now,
You know,
now there's Focus F Summit locally.
no, I'm not
That's good.
saying it. I'm not saying it because I'm a
Plug it in.
a conference. I'm not doing it because I'm a conference organizer. If you guys don't go to mine, it is what it is, right? Go to others,
No,
okay?
but I'm saying Vegas may be too costly for some people, but I'm saying now there's a local one.
Not even.
Yeah.
Someone posted on the WPPI group how much. I think it was a woman. How much she spent? $500 for the
But
week.
she ate like one meal a day. And it was
$500.
pizza,
Wait, what?
So I don't know.
She spent $500, including the room.
But she shared her meals. She had one meal a day, and it was pizza.
about-
But
What about
what I'm
flights?
trying to say is, there's a frugal way of doing it, and there's a way. There's also the way that we do it. We have fun. We eat good. We go out.
Buy ticket to next year now. Then you'll 500.
Yeah.
You can stay at the Love Motel 20 minutes off the strip. You guys come back smelling like an ashtray. You could save money that way.
Yeah.
you know?
Well, next year is gonna be at the Rio. So if you guys.
So you will smell like an ashtray. I'm
You
kidding.
will smell like an ashtray.
Well, it's going through a whole renovation that should be done by then.
Uh-huh.
A
Rio,
300,
right?
300, $350 million renovation. So that's
Uh-huh.
probably going to
Rio?
get rid of all the ashtrays, smell, and the bed bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know if you guys knew this, but I also attended the Lens and Light Summit up in Connecticut.
Right.
week before
I
WPPI.
did too. I
Yeah.
did too. Ben Lau made
Yeah.
me.
Christopher Stiles made us do the Connecticut summit. But anyway, yeah, it was his first time summit. Knocked it out of the park too. Like the thing
It
is,
seemed awesome.
it was like a mini WPPI, but here in New England. And the thing is, we had the opportunity to have breakfast with him, and
Egg
the
and
thing
I.
we also went to Egg and I.
Banana nut muffins.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
One for you,
But-
one for you, one for you.
Pretty much. And it's wonderful when you meet other folks who are like-minded as you guys, right? Like, or whatever you guys are doing in life, whatever your outlook is on life and your business, it's always a wonderful feeling to meet others who think like you, right? And his belief was very similar to mine in the way that, sometimes people don't have the opportunities or the means to travel all over the country for these workshops. Maybe they would just want to do something that's a little bit more local, a little bit more closer to home, and that's why he did it in New England. And the thing is he's like 3 hours away, so I wouldn't say that we're we have too much overlap in our markets or anything like that. You know, he has his market, I have mine. It's and he's doing something different and wonderful. I'm doing something different, and I think it's wonderful too. And I just wanted to support him. You know, I think we should support this effort to build a community in our own local markets. You know,
I agree.
I don't think there's enough of that. You know, was it like a
There's
month
not.
ago? Was it like a month ago when the Better Together had like a little meetup at a
Yeah.
Italian restaurant? There's a little bit of there's like a little educational component. Nathan Desch from Shoot With Me, we'll plug him. He's a good friend of the podcast, right? He did a little talk on IPS, and then we ate, and then we chatted for a little bit, and then we had Gary Feng sell everything in his market.
He showed up with 2 U-Haul trucks.
This guy was selling Scotch tape and everything, man. He's selling everything. Anything that you could like stick a price tag on, he was selling. You know? Yeah, you guys know what these post-it notes? Hey, I got it.
Empty boxes too, right? He was telling
Everything. He was selling empty boxes too. It's like everything's for sale.
He had everything. He was selling caskets. He was selling
He was selling
tires, like whatever you could think of.
anything that you could put into his U-Haul truck, he was selling. But in any case, that's what's wonderful about that. And how many people do you think showed up to that thing? Like 40 people?
30,
Oh yeah, I would say like 40, 45 people.
Yeah.
It was
Exactly.
packed.
Yeah, the place was packed, and that's what it's all about. And I'd like to see more of that. So now I am plugging something. I'm having a little dim sum meetup this Wednesday. Hope to see you guys all there. I think we have about 25 some people there. 25 people coming to this thing. So I mean, I don't care how. I mean, listen, if 2 people show up, and it is what it is, right? But right now, I think we have like 2 tables showing up for this dim sum thing. And then I'm going to talk for
Should be
about an
fun.
hour or so. I'll talk for an hour or so, and then you guys can go mingle and talk amongst each other. You know, that's what it's all about. I'm not even charging for it. You guys, people have to pay for their own lunch, but I mean, I'm just talking for an hour. You guys got to listen to me yammer. That's the price of admission.
I thought it was free. Everything. I'm kidding. Ben is like, don't do that to me.
Starting in trouble. Don't do that to me. We're live. We're live, man.
Ben Lau Photography is paying for it.
Oh.
Yeah, you wish. So the verdict is in. The moral of the story is, if you guys can, find a way to go to these conferences. All right.
Yes.
Do workshops, do classes, meet others in your market. I can't stress how much value there is in doing that. And it's not only rewarding for your business, it's rewarding for your business account, it's rewarding for your soul. It's rewarding all around.
But you will come back extremely tired and probably very sick. Just so you know.
And with a
Yo,
sore
I've been
throat.
coughing. I've been coughing
you've been-
since Halloween.
Yeah, that's not conference related. That's Ben Lau related. I don't know.
That's something else going on.
I got something else going on, man. And I also wanted to bring you guys on board today because I wanted to talk about your wins this first quarter. Do you guys know what your numbers are for the first quarter, or at least since February?
Yeah, I know for the first quarter. So
Here, if you want to see.
Because this
I
is a
have-
sales and marketing. This is a sales and marketing live, so we want to inspire others that it
I
is
know.
possible. It's not always doom and gloom. People are doing well. Even someone like me who does like average work, maybe slightly above average, but about average work.
79.
It's sort of like driving.
79.
Photography. You say photography is sort of like driving. Everyone thinks they're slightly above average. No one ever says that they're the best at anything. Everyone's just slightly above average.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how'd you guys do for Q1?
So Q1, I got the numbers for you because I know we like data. So I know everyone's been saying, and it has been a very different year for everyone as far as inquiry amounts and response times and meetings. So for January through now, we had about 40 inquiries. In the
Whoa.
past, which I mean, especially during the COVID rush, I look back on the past. During like 22 and 21, when it was like the COVID flood of everybody needing to book their wedding,
It was way more.
we had like over 150, I think, at that point. So there has been a significant drop in the inquiry volume so far in Q1. Of those 40 inquiries, we had 13 meetings, and we booked 9 out of those 13.
9 out of the. Yay! Hold on. Do I have a Do I have a? Hold on one second. There it is.
Oh God. Oh God.
I
As a
love
New
it.
Yorker, that gives me trauma. That gives me Funkmaster Flex trauma.
Pew, 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 pew. All right. So I have my numbers too. I don't know. Let me see here. Um, I do know that since February we have booked. Since February we've booked 13 weddings. So this is not including January. Tave doesn't let me do Q1. It just lets me go.
When you
the
say
previous
we,
month.
is that all three
Me,
brands?
Karis, yeah, me, Karis. Actually, you know what? I might be able to pull up the whole thing. Give me one second. Um, you know what? I can just say this year, and then this should give me the number. Give me
Yeah.
1 second. Is not completed. Booking date is. You know, I had this ready before I had technical difficulties this evening. On or after this year.
Well, if you book 2 more weddings, it's time to upgrade that computer.
Yes.
All right. So
First
17
goal was
jobs.
gumbo. Second goal is now a laptop.
Yeah. So we booked 17 jobs this year. 17 jobs for a grand total of about 89,000 in revenue in the Q1. Okay.
Nice.
All right. So and this is pre-IPS. All right.
Yes, because those will come
let me.
after.
Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is with the associate brand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 with Karis. Is that right? And then the rest is mine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with me. So, as you can see here, some data that we can glean off of this is that you guys know what me and my wife we charge. We're just a little north of 6,000, and our associate team's right around 4,000, give or take, right? So the thing is, we're out booking them 2 to 1. You guys, I just shared that number with you guys, right?
Yeah.
So there's a common myth out there that cheaper wins. You gotta, it's a race to the bottom. It's cheaper is gonna win every single time. All the clients are going after cheap, 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 cheap. And actually, I think that you guys are close to us in price as well. You guys are just a little north of 6,000 for coverage with an engagement session, correct?
Correct.
Right. So
Yes, sir.
so you guys are outbooking my associate team. Combined, we are outbooking my associate team. That means there's room for people to make money in that tier of photographer and that pricing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first myth I wanted to bust today is that people are still booking. Number one. Number two, people are not necessarily booking for the cheapest.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for value. They're looking for, I don't know, whatever it is that you're offering. That's what they want. It's not just pretty photos. Why do you think people book with you guys instead of other people? Do you know that? Do you know that answer?
So, I know that answer. And what I was going to ask you first actually was, do you think you're outbooking the studio brand because more people want a personal connection? Which is why I feel sometimes people book with us or like, hey, Karis, because they see the face. All the marketing is around us as people. So I'm wondering now if there's a shift from the market of like, I really want to be able to find someone that I can connect with and see, and I'm willing to spend more for it because I know exactly what I'm getting. And I wonder if like the studio model is like kind of not falling to the wayside, but like people are seeing more in a value.
There's more challenge. It's more of a challenge trying to book that way. I will say though, I got a follow-up email from a client that I met about 2 weeks ago. We had the consult 2 weeks ago. It was for me. And I generally don't refer my overage to my associate team because they generally don't close, right? Because it's a different experience. It's not to say that one's better than the other. It's just a different experience. Like you mentioned earlier, one's a little bit more personal and the other one's a little bit more, you get nice pictures, but the experience, you're not going to get the day-to-day interactions with your photographer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get, you're going to get a nice experience, but it's just it's not as personal. You know what I mean? For instance, I think I talked about this during the Focus Day Summit, my talk. Like, I'm out there giving gifts. You know what I mean? I am out there, doing Polaroids on the same day. I am showing up. I'm staying overtime on me, on my dime. I can't expect my shooters to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They might do it, but they might not. I can't obligate them to do that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
I am okay driving 2 hours away for an engagement session. I can't obligate my shooters to do that either. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's these kind of things. I mean, they'll be willing to do it, but you got to pay them for it, right? But then that means I got to charge the clients for it too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because the thing is, the other thing is, a lot of people think that associate brands make a lot of money. There's a lot of money in leftovers for us to pay for these things, right? But the thing is, we keep the margins artificially low so that way we can remain competitive. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Volume is the key.
Yeah, volume is the key, but the volume for our associate brand at the moment is not as high as our primary brands. That's the fact of the matter right now. But you're right. People who are booking these higher end, or rather not higher end, I would say higher ticket photographers and videographers and vendors and stuff like that, I think they do value the more personal connection, that personal touch. Because you guys send out gifts and pamphlets and magazines and reels, and you guys do all kinds of personal things. I'm doing personal vlogs. I'm not telling my shooters to do personal vlogs with their with their clients and stuff. That's not their responsibility. It's a lot more headaches that they got to worry about. You know what I mean?
Extra work.
So anyway, hopefully I answered your question. Yeah, they are looking for a more personal touch. What about you guys?
Yeah, I think that's basically leads to why we book what we do and at the price point we do.
I think it's also our style, and how we brand and market how we shoot. Typically when we meet with couples, we always ask them like what attracted them to our work. And I would say like 90% of the time the answer they give us is what we're expecting them to say. And, I feel like if you do a good job at, showing your style and marketing it right, you're going to attract people you just have to close a deal when you meet with them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
And a personal
you're
touch.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Unless you're like a total weirdo, like during the meeting, I think they will. Once they inquire and then you get their meeting scheduled. Like unless you're like a total weirdo, you will get that booking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I've heard
Find that
stories.
assurance. Yep.
Yeah, we met with a couple. They're getting married this November. And they were telling us about how hard it was to find a photographer. They had like 10 meetings or something like that.
What was their hold up? What was what were they?
They just were saying like they couldn't get that. They didn't like vibe, but they didn't get a connection.
It felt transactional.
They felt transactional.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
after during our meeting, he was like, "You were the first people to ask about us. Like no one in 10 of these meetings asked about us.
There's 13 meetings.
10 or 13, whatever it was.
13.
He was
They met
like,
with 13 photographers.
he
Holy
said not
moly.
one asked them about when they got together. Not one asked them about the proposal. Not one asked them about the process so far with planning. Some were just like fluffing their own feathers. He was like, you were the first people to ever ask anything about us. And we only talked about photography for maybe like a quarter of the meeting. And then we met up with him yesterday. And he said the same thing again. He was like, thank you again for being the only people that would like talked about us.
Yeah.
No one else
So
really
odd.
seemed to care. I was like, that's crazy.
And
Yeah.
and they also mention what we say, right? I know a lot of photographers and videographers that have awards. They talk about these accolades during these meetings. Like I have awards. I don't ever talk about my
Right.
awards to clients because they don't care about it. Like,
Yes.
and they mentioned that they said that some of the people they met with just spent the whole time talking about themselves. It's crazy.
Yeah. Guys, I know I didn't do my regular intro. I got like 9 minutes left until I got to get to my coaching call. If you guys have questions you'd like to ask us about our booking process, our inquiry process, marketing, branding, anything like that, leave them in a chat right now. We'll get to it. Guys, right now I'm looking at the what do you call it? My own coaching group chat. Can you guys pay attention
Oh.
to the
Yeah.
Focus AF community chat group, because I'm not looking at anything in there.
There's a bunch of stuff in the other
Your
one.
fault, and now it's your fault. You made us
Yeah.
do
It's my
it.
fault. I'm so
And-
sorry,
and-
but we need to do this
and-
again. This only means that we have to do it again because
Yeah, because
this is the most.
I feel gypped out of 20 minutes.
Yeah.
By the way, you're not
You
supposed to
robbed
say
me.
the word. You're not supposed to use that word chipped because you're gonna get us canceled. You
Oh,
can't.
it's canceled already too.
Why?
Yeah. You gotta say you got ripped off or you got
Cancel.
shortchanged.
Oh.
What about jerked? I got jerked.
Then you're gonna offend Gerardo.
Oh. Sorry, I had
Actually,
no
in-
idea.
in
Well, I
the-
learned something new every day.
There's a bunch of
Apologies,
stuff
guys.
in the comments in your group.
In my group, yeah, they're talking about Scott Wyden says that mine is pretty raw too. So I don't know what context that is. Yeah,
I think
Scott Wyden.
so.
Scott
he was
from
asking.
Imagine.
He was asking if anyone got sick at WPPI, and I commented and said that me and Jen lost our voices at WPPI.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because
Yeah.
all I saw was Scott says mine is pretty raw too, and I was like, what is he talking about? Oh goodness! Hey, Nathan's here. Ryland's here. Hector's here. Hector says his. I guess he spent a lot of money there, huh?
Oh, my
Nathan
God.
wants to
he's,
get
he's a party animal.
who? Ryland?
No, Hector and Grace,
Oh, my
Gary
God.
and Ruth, they were partying all night.
Oh my gosh! Oh, by the way, Nathan got us some shoot with me swag when I saw him in Connecticut. So we got to make sure he gets some Focus Day of swag. And also, he's a speaker. We should
We
give
gave
our
it to
speakers
him
a-
already.
I gave him a shirt
We're
at
on it. We gave it to
WPI.
him.
Nathan, you trying to get some more free t-shirts out of us? Oh my gosh. So let me see here. So Julia Hogan says, this was super informative and pretty on point with trends that I'm seeing. A client today said that the other photographer didn't even lead the call whatsoever. So she didn't feel like they provided any value. Hopefully I can make more of these. So Julia, thank you for joining. She wants to make more of these. So that means my Focus podcast host, my Focus Day of podcast host needs to come out with me at least one more time to do this. And I won't have these technical difficulties.
We're gonna call this Focus F Podcast Live now.
There we go.
Focus
We're
Day
taking
podcast.
over.
You know what? You know what?
taking over.
This might save. You know what? This might save Dirty a whole lot of work. You know, he doesn't even have to do any post production anymore. Just show up to my live. We're gonna shoot the shit for an hour. We don't even need to talk for like an hour and a half, right?
Dirty, you're
We just-
fired.
Yeah, Dirty, you're
No.
fired. Oh,
No,
I'm
he's
kidding.
not.
No.
Because we say things on our regular recordings that need to be fixed and edited because we
he
have
definitely
today-
makes us sound better.
Guys, this is very tame. When we do our regular podcast recording, there's always a 99% chance that we're going to get canceled if it doesn't get scrubbed. So I'm very grateful that the co-hosts are being very clean and very disciplined right now with how they're speaking and conducting themselves.
You're not really letting us speak, by the way. So
There's a button that we have to press.
Um,
I want to speak. No.
all right, what would you like to contribute to this conversation,
No, no,
Paris
no,
Lam?
no,
Why do clients choose you over
Yeah.
everyone else?
It's because they love me.
Well, actually, I took a look at her numbers. She has a couple, about a half a dozen bookings this year, right? And most of them came from a venue referral.
Nice.
Very nice.
One venue gave her most of those leads.
And
Yeah.
off and is it free referrals?
Did you pay to be on that list, or was it free?
Nope, free.
Oh, there
Free.
you go. Even
How
better.
did you get it for free?
The girl like loves me. Like I shot my second or third time shooting there. She like ran up to me and she's like, "Oh my God, are you Hey Karis?" I'm like, I had a fangirl moment. She's like, "Are you Hey Karis? I need to come say hi to you." I was like,
Oh my gosh! You know,
Wait, as long as it's in
I'm
New
like
York.
Travis Kelsey right now. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not even. I'm a nobody. You know, I'm just the side. Attraction.
yes.
Correct. I love it.
But I am going to talk about how to get on lists for free. Well, I'm going to talk about how to pay to get on the list first, but they're very, very closely related. Because the thing is, the venues still have to like you. Even if you pay them, they're not going to put you on the list. So they still need to like you. So I'm going to talk about that on Wednesday's talk. On Wednesday's talk, when we're having dim sum, and then I'm going to have a little talk at a coffee shop. I'm going to talk about like some things that you can do right away to help you get clients ASAP. Right? I know the things that people like to talk about, like social media, SEO. That stuff is very sexy to talk about, but that stuff doesn't usually perform for you that quickly. That stuff takes a little
takes
while for
time.
you to
Mm-hmm.
bear fruit, anywhere between 3 to 6 months. You know what I mean? But relationship building, you can build right away. You know what I mean? building relationships you can do right away. Ads you can do right away. You can pay to be on a list, but even that, I paid to be on a list this year. I joined a new list this year, and I paid a small sum for it. We got 2 bookings from them already. I made my money back already.
Nice.
You know, I'm also going to talk about trade shows. I would love to talk about trade shows because we always make money from those too. When's the last time you guys did a trade show?
Right before COVID.
Yeah, we stopped doing them.
But it was the one at the what
Big
is it?
one, right?
At the MetLife. No,
Meadowlands Expo Center.
Meadowlands.
And-
Yo, it's the one where they have like 1,000 couples coming in, right?
Yeah, it was the one right before
There's a lot of
COVID,
traffic.
and we were only kind of forced to do it because I didn't realize that the contract auto renewed.
You gotta read the
So
fine print.
right, so I had a big fight with them to take me off the auto renewal, and I was like, all right, I'll do the show. It was okay. I think we may have booked like
We booked 2, I think 2 or 3.
2 or
Yeah.
3, and then
You made
luckily
your
with
money
like
back.
yeah, luckily with the world shutting down and all that stuff, they kind of paused the shows for a while and it never went back. But I always tell people, and we had some people in the BT group actually do it this year for the first time that are doing well from it. I always say it's really good. I always do something one time, right? Like whether or not people tell me it's going to work or not, I'm going to try it for myself and see what happens. So we've done that with trade shows, and we've done maybe like 5 or 6. And we had, like I mentioned, a bunch of people do it in January, and they're doing really well with it. So I say, like, if you're starting out, give it a try. It's nothing worse you can do than that. You get the email list, and then you just kind of work that after as well.
It's just a lot of talking on the trade show. Like
Yep.
you should,
yep.
they should
Yeah.
definitely bring someone with you and not be there alone, because the more people that you're able to attack and try to get them to.
I'm gonna share with everyone on Wednesday my trade show strategy that gets me bookings every single trade show. I've done more than my fair share of trade shows in the past 20 years, and I always get something out of it. And yeah, that's what I'm going to share on Wednesday. It's about your booth setup, how you talk to people, how you talk with everyone in that room. You know.
Yeah.
It's not just showing up. A lot of people just show up and expect the leads to come in. You know, they just sit there with their portfolio and their albums, and they just like, hey,
No, there's
when
so
you
much
getting
on
married?
so much on the floor
That's
you have
not
to
gonna
do.
work. That's not
So
gonna
much
work.
you have to do
Yeah.
after, and then
The people that we always booked are the people that we connected with at the show.
Oh yeah, yep.
1,000%. Anyway, guys, I'm so sorry that we started late today.
this is terrible.
This is terrible. We're gonna redo this
I
again
want my
in the
money
future.
back.
This is terrible. I feel like, oh my gosh. Maybe I will buy a new computer. I don't know. We'll see. I really don't want to let it go because it's still
All right,
still
everyone
working.
in the chat, tell Ben to get a new computer.
I have a
This is
special technique that will save you like $1,000.
On my computer?
Yeah.
What is
We'll
it?
take, we'll take
What is
it
it?
offline.
I'm not gonna say it on air, but you have to sign up to my Patreon to find out.
We don't want Apple coming for us.
Oh,
Link-
I know how you're gonna do it.
Link over here, link.
Sign up for the link right here. All right, guys. Anyway, so sorry that we had some technical difficulties, but hope you guys learned a little bit about sales and marketing, a little bit about what we're doing in our own businesses. That's, kind of helping us in this weird year. I know it's a weird year for everyone, but all the doom and gloom that you guys are seeing on the internet, it's not 100% true, because you have 4 individuals here who are doing okay in this environment.
Yeah. And I think for when we come back, we talk about why we're where we're at, Ben. We missed the whole educational part.
All right, we'll figure it out. All right, we'll get you guys for a part 2 once I figure out my computer situation, guys. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you guys in a week. All right, guys. Adios.
Focused AF is a fun, business-focused podcast for wedding creatives.
Co-hosted by award-winning husband and wife wedding photography teams Ben and Karis.
And Jen and Ro, where we help fellow wedding creatives with their sales and marketing.
With laid-back conversations and real talk with some of our most favorite people in the universe.
And with that being said, are you focused AF?
I am Focused AF today.
We are Focused AF.
I think I might be Focused AF.
Welcome to the Focused AF podcast.